You didn't see that coming, did you? I am just popping in for a moment. It's late in the evening. I'm working on a few things. I know those of you have been asking where my political podcast has been, and it's been kind of difficult the last 4 shows, 3, 4. The moment that I finish them, you edit them, you get them up, and then YouTube or Facebook basically reports them, bans them, takes them down, and then my account kind of gets frozen. Where I can't send or receive messages until the issue is resolved, and then I escalate the issue. Kind of makes me communicating with clients, friends, and family, which is ultimately what I use social media for, a little bit more difficult. So I am navigating around it. It's taking me an extra few steps. Bear with me. I appreciate your patience. You're going to see me on a few other podcasts being interviewed for, hey, we really liked how your show kicked off. And I'm going to be like, thanks. No one heard it because it got banned. It's going to be really fun. But in the meantime, I'm here with you because I wanted to share a certain exercise for those of you who join me weekly, daily, depending on whether it's Patreon or social media, Instagram, wherever, here on Facebook or on YouTube. A lot of interacting with the psychological components, spirituality, astrology, all different areas of forensic psych and the occult, bringing it together and really just kind of, having fun with it, helping us all better understand each other. So lately, with the age of Aquarius, there's been a lot of movement from Pisces into Aquarius. And with that energy, we actually have to kind of use air magic. So if you are not an active witch, how many witches out there? Raise your hand. Go ahead and say it proud in the chat room. I know these days that's kind of, woof. Man, there's been some weird stuff going on, right? Air, full moon in Libra. This is this is a cardinal effort. This is getting a lot of news. This is news changing, headlines changing. This is information, project announcements. This is, listen up. I have news. This is needing to pay attention, and also Archangel Raphael asking us, how do you know what you know? Now, there's all sorts of ways that we do divination, and I think, speaking of witches, there's Matthew. There's a lot of different ways that we do magic in specific elemental spaces. A lot of times it seems as though it always starts in air. Even though it starts in earth, it starts in your thoughts and intentions and moves through water, through your thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings, until you birth an idea, whether that be a discussion over beers or a conversation, we need to talk, or writing it down in a diary, in a narrative with yourself, or in a discussion in a therapy brainstorm session. However it happens, a lot of times things don't become real, right, until we birth it into the real world, or we say something, we speak up until we have to say something, in which case our language, the way we say something, the tone, the pitch, all of that really matters. Now, we like to think that every time we say something, we say it with dignity and grace, and that we've thought a long time about it, and we feel very strongly about it, and that everything we say, we think and feel in accordance with. However, that isn't always the case with environment and stimulus and stress and people coming in and out, not being able to control where you are or what's happening or what. There's a lot of things, especially in air, when you say something, you might say something and it doesn't get received that way at all. In fact, depending on where you are, your culture, your timing, the slow clap, if you will, it really is an intuitive art, language, knowing how to judge and discern where you are, what to say, how to say it, when to say it, at what speed and pace, and what power you have with your own language. Now, as a counselor working in neurolinguistic programming, doing interrogations, doing interviewing, talking with people a lot, whether it be crisis intervention or doing psychic readings, workshops, mediation, teaching photography skills, whatever. This is speaking and connecting with our language, right? Public speaking or one-on-one, doesn't matter. Same art. and that you can use it, stretch it. It can be put to music. It can be like Mr. Rogers, and you can have awkward radio silence, which is used on purpose, mindfully. But I'm going to give you an exercise that you can either do with yourself. You can do it with me now. If you have a piece of paper and a pen near you, reach, grab for one if you have, or pause this video if you're a time traveler. Get a piece of paper and a pen, or just take a note. Join me for this fun mental exercise. Join me in your thoughts, and join me definitely in the chat room, because that's going to help me out a lot. I need your interaction. I need. And I'm going to show you a dissociative stream. So a lot of times in therapy or counseling session or in your own space, it's important to have dissociative stream. The pandemic, the COVID, we've not had the human interaction to have that dissociative stream, the brainstorm, the just talk it out, just cathartically, blah, 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 blah. And that mental ping pong to be able to say something and kind of Freudian, knowing where it's come from, doing the psychoanalysis and hindsight, looking down, trying to decipher the entanglement of what's around us. And we want to play what I would call a game of mental ping pong or word association, right? And the idea is that you want to have some level of separation, and you will begin to understand whom it is you're playing with, how you're playing, if they're very competitive or not, if they're assertive, if they're really taking their time, their pace. You learn a lot about the art of someone's air magic by playing this mental game. So it's a word association, and it's kind of meant, and you might say to go, you know what, don't think too much about it. And also you don't want to like feel too much about it either. The idea is that you're not really bringing it in too much at all. You can do it with children or friends, family, again, a stranger, or with a client if you need to fill time with discussion and also gather a lot of useful information. To say, okay, I'm going to start off with a word, and I'm going to start off with shark. I say shark. You in the chat room, tell me what word comes to your mind when you think of shark. What do you think of? Shark. I'm going to wait and see if anyone will be brave in the chat room. And of course, it's strange when you feel the awkwardness of the pacing, right? You'll feel right now, it's very slow start. Icebreakers, you don't want it to be slow. Steve says death. Shark. Death. You say death. I'll say reaper. I say reaper. You say now, a few people in the chat are on a little bit of a delay. So now I'm seeing some of the other associations, and you can see the breaking off, the many strings, multi-universe kind of space. Death, reaper, grim. From grim. Rapunzel. I'm going to say Rapunzel. Where do you get from Rapunzel? Shark, death, reaper, grim, Rapunzel. Rapunzel. Hair. Long hair. When I think of long hair, I think of the ring. We think of the ring. Gold. Gold. I think of rainbow. When I say rainbow, you think what? And you can kind of begin to see how this game is played, right? We go back and forth. It can become very sophisticated. It can become very, very, very specific. You will see some people go rainbow beautiful. When I think of beautiful, I think of Christina Aguilera. How does that song go? Because immediately I think of a car commercial. You're beautiful. But that's not how it goes. Her song is different. It's like, no matter, wait, you're beautiful, no matter what they say. Words will bring me down. I can't remember that song very well. I do remember it was Christina Aguilera. Raindrops. Man, and you begin to see how the game is played. And so this, you go back and forth. You go back and forth, and you then look down, and you can go as long as you want. And then you look down at your list and you go, what in the world do we have here? Okay, shark, death, reaper, grim, Rapunzel, long hair, ring, gold, rainbow, beautiful, Aguilera, raindrops. You can see how it starts as print. It ends up going in some spaces to cursive. It gets sloppy. You can kind of do the graphology, start looking at the language, start really going, wow, I can see where we were going there. You can see where it was quick and moving and quick paced, where it just was very easy. Oh, yes, yes. And then places where you get hung up. Or sometimes you'll notice the person that you're playing this mental ping pong with actually wants to be competitive and make you think. And sometimes you play it with yourself and make it stretch as long as you can. It's this kind of mental elasticity. But more importantly, what we're going to do is I'm looking at all of these words, right? And this is just something that you and I play. And we play in a space and we go, okay, there's no way we would have started off and thought, okay, shark, death, reaper, Rapunzel, long hair. This is weird. These are kind of a weird set of words. And so then you go to maybe an intertrans communicative device or the Bible or something that you use for divination. And you can look up these words, or you can say, in the next 10 minutes, I want to find a song and I want it to play and it's got to have these words in it. Or you can go look it up and have it be something that is returned. Or do this fun activity, which is something you can also do with your children, or if you're creative. Now, I'm not a very good drawer, but I like to draw. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun, interactive thing to do. So you guys have these same words. So you go, okay, these are the words we came up with, kind of like Pictionary. These are the words. And I want you to draw something. So Steve, Lizzie, Rachel, and Adam. Oh, Adam. Adam found the words. You're beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. Whoa, no. You're beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. Don't you bring me down. God, I love that song. We need to put that on our karaoke list. And a good message for air magic space, because lately in this airspace, there's been a lot of like, how do you know what you know? Where did that come from? Who sang that? Did she write that? What are the lyrics? Like really taking that time. Steve, good night. Thanks for joining us. So let's bring it all full circle. If you're not going to be manifesting it, planting the seed, saying, hey, in the next 24 hours, I want to see this, or I want this to be my synchronized words, my synchronicity, my magic language. I want these to be spiritually planted. Or you could say, okay, all of us, we have this list: shark, death, reaper, grim, Rapunzel, long hair, ring, gold, rainbow, beautiful, Christina Aguilera, raindrops. How in the world am I going to draw anything that has anything to do with any of that? Okay, I kind of have an idea. So I'm not a very good drawer, but again, this is kind of one of those, you never really feel like your art is good, right? My art is not good, but what I do know is no one can draw like I can, right? No one can draw like you can. Dr. Seuss, his art was not necessarily that good. It was just that he did it. Who in the world was going to be, doing, who was going to illustrate this, right? There wasn't anybody that was going to be willing to illustrate it. And so he did it himself. And so this is what I'm doing. Don't laugh at me, right? But this is also one of those, you get a sense of what a person's art looks like or what's going on in their head, right? You get a sense of, okay, divination. What do I see when bringing all of this together? And if you were drawing right now, draw an image as well. This is like Bob Ross. And I wish, maybe I can. Can I turn this around and like be drawing as I do this and you guys can be watching and I can Bob Ross you? I'm going to Bob Ross you right now, okay? Don't laugh. Don't laugh at me, okay? I don't know if I can Bob Ross you or not. I'm going to Bob Ross, okay? But this is kind of what I'm seeing. Now, of course, Bob Ross, I'm very suggestive. Now you can't draw. If you were drawing, I just ruined it for you because you need to be drawing your own thing. And then you would turn it over at the end and be like, what'd you draw? And you'd say, oh, I drew this. And that person goes, ooh, I drew that. And it's so weird. And you don't want to spend too much time, just like with the word association. It's not about time. It's about doing it. And that it just gets done. I know this looks really strange right now. I promise there's a rhyme and a reason to what it is that I'm drawing. I think. I don't know for sure. This is what I see though. It was that we were drawing. It was that we were drawing. Right. And this is again, somebody would be like, what in the world? How did this drawing come up? And we'd be like, it's a long story, man. I used to be a candle. It's just, trust me. I was a candle. Trust me. You won't know what this is unless you've been joining us, right? And I know it's weird, but hang in there with me. We're almost done. And if I could paint it, obviously there would be a different, if we could paint. Oh no, I hope I didn't get that on my dry erase board. That's okay. If you get Sharpie on something, hairspray takes it off. Don't worry. Okay. I don't feel like like that was a good enough representation of what it was I was drawing, but that's going to just have to do. Okay, what else did we have? A rainbow? Okay, this is my art now. And so then we'd say, okay, and our reading is done, and people come to me to get all sorts of different readings. This would be an interactive kind of reading where, okay, we just drew art, you just drew art, we just drew something out of the weird thing that we got. I can't even describe for you how this came to me, but this is, okay, this is Rapunzel. And we have a rainbow coming out of a sun. There's a sun on one side and the night sky on the other. And they're sharks. Maybe they're whales. We don't know for sure because it would be like the Finding Nemo where they're far apart. And it's kind of like they're, ooh, they're out there, But that's Rapunzel. And that's the Grim Reaper. And he's fishing with her because we did Shark, Death, Reaper, Grim, and Rapunzel with long hair and gold and raindrops and beautiful and Christina Aguilera and light. And it would be kind of Pink Floydish and very water and Atlantis down there at the bottom with some kind of things in her hair kind of floating. It's really long and maybe some little creatures eating off of her hair or something. I don't know. But my Grim Reaper, he shows up in my stuff a lot. And it's funny how he always tends to find his way into my art. It doesn't matter what word I start off with, he will find his way. So then this would be the piece that goes out, and you receive this in the mail, and I paint it and I color it and it goes out to you, and it's a reading that you and I do. We share together, and it's just done off of an association with a word and air play. It's a game play, and it is meant to be kind of an interactive psychoanalysis of what words come to your mind and how that pacing and how that visualization gets presented whenever it is that you are then being creative with it. So, a lot of times we don't have a portfolio if we don't just take the assignment. We don't get that opportunity to have the work be done if we don't just say yes to the opportunity and accomplish something. So this is a little bit of an assignment for you this week. If you have the opportunity to do some air magic, instead of listening or letting it be filled with nonsense, be very mindful, turn the channel, change the volume, pay attention to the lyrics. And if you want, encourage people to think more about what they're saying. Be mindful of what it is you are saying around your space. You have ears on your body for a reason, and use air magic wisely. So you guys, yes, Paranormal Sarah is still under construction while I am trying to kind of get a few things figured out on how I want to revamp my website. I've got a few kind of interactive pages that I don't feel 100% about yet. So I'm a little nervous about launching it. So I'm kind of waiting to see. I've got somebody who I'm waiting to get their message back. And so, you know who you are, message me back. That way I will get the best advice before I click the submit button. But anyway, Rachel, Lizzie, Steve, Adam, all of you guys that joined me live, thank you so much wherever you were, whether it was Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or as a time traveler. I appreciate it. But you can find me online pretty much anywhere at Paranormal Sarah. And I am still doing readings, whether they are tarot readings or they are palm readings or they are psychic readings or divination, interactive psychoanalysis readings like the one that we just did here, utilizing air magic because, guys, it's very important. And then tomorrow, of course, you guys will be able to catch me tomorrow evening doing the astrological cheat for the week and what to expect with my favorite featuring Matthew Slosier. So do not forget to check that out tomorrow and keep your eyes peeled. Until then, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Don't forget, if you want a reading or there's anything I can do for you, reach out, give me a private message, send me an email at theparanormalsarah@gmail.com, and have a wonderful evening. Oh, and send me your pictures. If you drew something, I want